Trump 2020. What's our strategy, guys? First rule of Trump 2020. Controlling the media. How do we do it? It doesn't have to be true. It just has to go viral.
This is Brendan Dilley. He has been retweeted by Trump like a billion times. It's crazy. He was even invited to Mar-a-Lago for Trump's presidential announcement speech. I'm not sure if he's a QAnoner. I think he probably held those views previously, if he doesn't still. But he's like about as far right as it gets. And he is kind of the creator of a group called the Meme Team, the Brendan Dilley Meme Team, that pumps out propaganda for Donald Trump. And we're going to take a look at a little bit of it. I bet anything you've seen some of it already, some of the stuff that this guy pumps out. Listen to the rest of this clip, by the way. This one is from 2019, late June 2019, leading up to the 2020 election. He says, it doesn't have to be true, it just has to be viral.
It doesn't have to be true, it just has to go viral. We're destroying them at their own game.
Who is they? Are they in the room with us right now?
Like, Dilly, where did you hear about that? I don't know, I made that up. You're a liar? For now.
That's psychotic. And what's more, it's dishonest. That's what I really care about. The fact that it's dishonest. I don't care what's at stake. I just don't believe in intentionally leading large groups of people to false conclusions. Like, that's straight up wrong. The meme team, the Dilley meme team, as you can see, there's a little watermark here. They were responsible for creating this video. You guys might remember this. Trump posted this video to his Truth Central account, or whatever the hell his social media account is.
And on June 14th, 1946, God looked down on his planned paradise and said, I need a caretaker. So God gave us Trump. God said,
It was in 1946 before he said he needed a caretaker. Are you kidding me? What the God been doing this whole time? Sitting on his
said, I need somebody willing to get up before dawn, fix this country, work all day, fight the Marxists, eat supper, then go to the Oval Office and stay past midnight at a meeting of the heads of state. So God made Trump.
Did Trump do any of that ever at any point? What do you mean fight the Marxists? By the way, fight the Marxists. Words right out of Hitler's mouth. Literally, like right out of his mouth. That's what Hitler said. Those are the words that he used.
So God made Trump. I need somebody with arms, strong enough to rustle the deep state, and yet gentle enough to deliver his own grandchild.
He delivered his own grandchildren? I thought a doctor does that stuff. Is he all up in there doing that?
Somebody to ruffle the feathers, tame cantankerous World Economic Forum, come home hungry, have to wait until the First Lady is done with lunch with friends, then tell the ladies to be sure and come back real soon, and mean it.
I'm sorry, I want to vomit right now. It's so painfully stupid. Anyway, that's the meme team. That's what they pump out. Just Trump propaganda 24/7. It's so painful. The meme team, Brendan Dilley's meme team, didn't produce this ad that Donald Trump, tweeted or whatever, but it was a member of the meme team that individually produced it, and Donald Trump's account retweeted it. His Truth Central account, or retruthed, or whatever. If you look real close here in the corner, I'm gonna zoom in here, it says, the creation of a unified Reich. He pulled news clippings from Germany during the World Wars. Like, Hitler is probably most famous for talking about creating a unified Reich. Are you kidding me with this? You know what? It's one weird little mistake, okay? We can forgive it. We can overlook it. One little thing, you know what? Maybe this one guy was just researching World War I and World War II, and it popped up in his, his feed, so he decided to use those news clippings. I mean, he had to make sure that these were copyright-free and everything before putting this in this video, but who knows? Maybe he didn't curate it carefully. Quick interjection, this won't take long, I promise. I'd appreciate it if you watched to the end of the video, or at least a couple extra seconds, because YouTube bases its algorithm off of watch time. The more watch time a video has, the further the video will go. Also, take a look at my website, owenmorgan.com. I'm selling my book, Understanding Jehovah's Witnesses, 400 pages, and my second book, 100 Questions for Jehovah's Witnesses, which is about 80 pages. And you can find them both there on the website. Audio form, ebook form, whatever. It's about my experiences within the religion and the history of the religion generally. The 100 questions are intended to challenge a religious leader, so I'd appreciate it if you give it a read. Okay, back to the video. Listen to the clip here and watch closely for the image that I just showed you.
What happens after Donald Trump wins? What's for America? The economy
Yeah, see it right there. What's next for America?
for America. The economy booms. American energy is unleashed and an end to crushing taxes. The border is closed. And
Yeah, it said Unified Reich in like 3 different spots in this, I think. We found one, but yeah, I don't feel like looking through for the others. Why is he pulling up news clippings from World War I anyway? What does that have to do with anything at all? He's talking about the border and high taxes and stuff. I don't understand the connection.
closed, and the largest deportation in history is underway. No more wars. As we focus on home, law and order is restored. The American dream is back, and the best is yet to come. Make America great again.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, right at the end of this ad, right here, you can see it. It says the creation of a unified Reich, right at the bottom there. That is super on the nose and super weird, right? Like I said, maybe it was one time, except that isn't the only time that Donald Trump has literally repeated words from Hitler's mouth. The next 2 clips I'm going to show are direct quotes from Hitler. Listen to this one.
In honor of our great veterans on Veterans Day, pledge to you that we will root out the communists, Marxists, fascists, and the radical left thugs that live like vermin within the confines of our country.
Direct quote. Communists and Marxists, and he threw in a variety of others. Bolsheviks are living like vermin within our borders. Direct quote from Hitler. Here's another one. Check this clip out.
And no control whatsoever. Nobody has any idea where these people are coming from.
Talking about the border and immigrants coming over the border is just nonsense.
And we know they come from prisons. We know they come from mental institutions,
Well, how do we know that if we don't know where they're coming from?
insane asylums. We know they're terrorists. Nobody has ever seen anything like we're witnessing right now. It is a very sad thing for our country. It's poisoning the blood of our country.
Direct quote from Hitler. Direct quote. That's just 3. Okay, there are like a billion examples of Trump and people in his orbit directly quoting Hitler. 1 mistake I can excuse. 2 mistakes, okay, fine, whatever, I guess. 3 mistakes or more, this is intentional, isn't it? I'll give you a little bit of context for World War I and World War II. I was unaware of this. Maybe you are too. But World War I was officially started off when the prime minister, I think, of Austria-Hungary, which is one country below Germany. Austria-Hungary, that guy was assassinated by a Serb, I think, the Serbians, which were to the southwest of Austria-Hungary. And Austria-Hungary used that assassination as a justification for invading the entire area, for taking all of the land in the surrounding regions and persecuting Serbs terribly. And that kind of acted as like a sign or a signal for Germany to invade countries that they wanted also. So they invaded Luxembourg and another one. So we're talking 1914 to 1919. That's World War I. That's time frame we're dealing with here. This is an image of Europe in 1914 before World War I. German Empire is in the red here. It covered this whole area. Austria-Hungary invaded Serbia, and the German Empire went into... Oh, I'm sorry. It was number 3 and number 4 that he went into. Hitler went into number 3 and 4, these tiny little things on the border between them and France. And Switzerland somehow managed to stay neutral in all of this. I'm like, oh my God, dude. That's impressive. Anyway, that's when World War I really kicked off and when it started to get intense. Germany went into Luxembourg and Belgium and continued on through France, and I believe they got within 40 miles of Paris. People say that they could hear the gunfire from Paris. I don't know if that's true. Germany pushed it hard, and they started getting, like, absolutely insane, and it was, like, nationalistic, like, Germany is the best and the strongest, and they are the only ones that have the right to rule, and it was just out of control. Nerical, 3 German empires. The Holy Roman Empire of the German people, 1806, was considered the First Reich. The German Empire, lasting 1871 to 1918, was the Second Reich. My mistake, if that's wrong, maybe you're right about that. Holy Roman Empire of the German people, 1806, might have been the First Reich. I will correct that in the final product after I check that. So anyway, eventually, Britain brought troops into France because they were friends now after their long, bitter relationship. Before long, America came in as well to help. And, they took France back, and they were pushing back against the German Empire, a Reich, that was the name of it, run by a Kaiser, an emperor. Emperor Wilhelm II at the time. But they did have a Reichstag, a Capitol building, and they were limited to legislating. They couldn't do any kind of military decisions or any other treaties or any of that other stuff. It was all done by the emperor. But Germany clearly lost World War I at this point, and they needed to do something, so they sent a delegation. The Reichstag did, the capital. They sent a delegation to the front to sign a treaty with France agreeing to a bunch of things, the Treaty of Versailles. And that brought the war to an end. Germany had to pay reparations, war reparations, for like all the damage that they did to Europe, basically. So they were paying reparations to the UK and to France, and the UK was paying America back for the help that they were given. And then America was loaning money to Germany. So it's kind of like a loop. Anyway, that was World War I. Absolutely out of their minds on Germany juice between 1914 and 1919. That's what led to the mindset that enabled Nazis in the first place. And when Nazis came along, it was the National Socialist Political Party is what it was called. Socialist had a different meaning back then than it does today. Socialist back then in Germany at the time really just meant you're in favor of social programs, unemployment insurance, social security, universal health care, that kind of deal. Today, it's almost used as like a stand-in for communism. Anyway, the National Socialists, or the Socialist Nationalists, are the party that Hitler chose to use to rise himself to the top. And after World War I, he was injured right at the very end of it. He had a gigantic handlebar mustache. He had to cover his face with a gas mask because they were gassing people. His mustache got in the way of creating a seal on his face. And he spent like a few weeks in the hospital because of it. And that's why he shaved it down into that weird little mustache you know and love today. Anyway, after he got out of, the war, after he got out of the hospital and everything, he wandered around for a while and he painted and sold some of his paintings to kind of pay rent or whatever, lived on the street for a while, and eventually rose to prominence within the Nazi Party as a populist. And when he rose to power, he did it on the idea that they wanted to bring back the good old days of the empire. They thought that it was weak and stupid and vulnerable, and they wanted something powerful, like an empire, not just a democracy. They talked a lot about, the Nazis did, they talked a lot about going back to a time, making Germany great again. Any of this sound familiar? So that was the context behind World War I. That was the context behind creating a unified Reich, a unified Germany, a unified empire. Quick interjection, this won't take long, I promise. I just want to say I'd appreciate it if you check my Patreon. owenmorgan.com/Patreon to find it. YouTube's algorithm goes up and down, so I can never predict where it's going to be. Having patrons gives me some level of stability. Okay, back to the video. Now, the creator of that video, or not the creator, but Brendan Dilley, the meme team leader, responded to accusations that, if this was about World War I, not World War II, there were no Nazis. Saying that, Unified Reich was a totally different context. No, it was basically exactly the same. There's really no difference. The nationalistic extremism was there. They believed they had the right to rule and nobody else did. World War I is no better than World War II. Germany was just as insane in unique ways. Just got insane in different ways later on down the line. Anyway, listen to Brendan Dilley's excuse for why one of the members of the meme team produced this and used newspaper clippings from World War I.
Offense, and more offense all the time. And if you aren't comfortable staying on the offensive, well, you're going to have a problem dealing with me and the Dilly meme team. We stay on offense all the freaking time. We know that we are going to be judged by one person and one person only, that is God Almighty himself. You don't let these people dictate narrative. And if you let them dictate narrative, you've learned nothing. Nothing. And if you let them dictate narrative, you should be fired from
You guys have no idea how many duck quacks I had to stick in this video.
whatever job you have. If your job is to participate and in politics and you still believe in giving your power away.
So he's saying if you're not on the right and you don't support what he's doing, you should be fired from your job. Wow. Cancel culture much?
To lying commies, you should get canned.
Lying commies. Literally words from Hitler, okay? He worked people into a blood frenzy over communists. There are no communists in America today. Why is he talking about communists? Almost no communists. There's no serious communist political actor in the United States. There's no communist representation in the Capitol, in Congress, or in any other political party, to my knowledge, that has any kind of relevance in the U.S. In Germany, they talked about communism, and they talked about Bolshevism. Bolshevism is the political party that turned into the Communist Party in Russia eventually. So they talked about Bolshevism. They also talked about, fascinatingly, cultural communism, cultural Bolshevism, equality of opportunity versus equality of outcome. The exact conversation being had by Brendan Dilley, Jordan Peterson. Does he realize that? I don't know. This is all repeating itself, okay? This is all coming from somewhere. In my opinion, I think that the guy who created this political ad about a unified Reich, I think he used clippings from World War I because of how hyper-nationalistic Germany was leading up to World War II, trying to get back to a time when Germany was great and create a unified Reich. They probably used these same exact newspaper clippings in World War II, or leading up to it, during Hitler's reign. I'd be surprised if they didn't.
Fired from whatever job you have. If your job is to participate and in politics and you still believe in giving your power away to lying commies, you should get canned. You're not smart enough to handle the new paradigm. The new paradigm is pedal down, motherfucker. No apologies. No trying to rationalize, explain. None of it. You. Nope, you are imagining some shit. You and I both know that has zero freaking racial implication. There is nothing freaking racist or scary about what is there. And you can imagine it till you're blue in the freaking face, pal. We don't give a shit.
Okay, I don't think imagining things turns your face blue, but go on.
Anything else is a freaking loss. It's taking an unnecessary loss. And anybody giving that old paradigm advice, not worthy of being leaders in the new freaking world at all. But when there is no mistake, and there's only an imagined mistake, there's only an imagined controversy.
This is his reference to the clip that said Unified Reich.
Only freaks overreact to imagined controversies. Your job is to be the adult in the room. I'm sorry that you imagine.
Your job's to be the adult in the room, says a guy who just used the F word for gay people. Like, come on. This is so stupid, it's impossible to satirize. I have a new, what do you call it? Like a new soundboard sound I've been looking for an opportunity to play it. This feels like a pretty good opportunity.
Now you're an asshole. You got that? You're an asshole, is what you are. No, he's an asshole. He's an ambulance chasing asshole. That's what you are. Lumpy pillows, kiss my ass. Put that in your book.
Yeah, that's Mike Lindell complaining about somebody who said that his pillows are lumpy. But I feel that applies pretty succinctly to Brendan Dilley here, right?
Now you're an asshole. You got that? You're an asshole.
So he says that any connection to Nazis is fictitious, or to Hitler. It's all in your head. And apparently that makes your face blue.
Your job is to be the adult in the room. I'm sorry that you imagined something scary had happened right in front of you. I'm sorry that you imagined that there's Nazi propaganda. That's not. That is clearly a news clipping from World War I, in which case there were no Nazis fighting. Thus, there's nothing to discuss. You can yourself all you want. This is irrelevant.
Well, like I said, one weird little mistake, I chalk that up to a coincidence. Two weird little mistakes, okay, maybe still coincidence. 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, 30. Then Trump's ex-wife coming out and saying that he had a book of Hitler's speeches next to his bed. You know, this is all adding up to a larger picture. Is it just me? And it should really say something that the most surprising and questionable aspect of Trump's wife saying that he had a book of Hitler's speeches next to his bed, the most questionable aspect of that is the idea that Trump was reading in the first place. Take a look at this Media Matters article. AP News covered this too, by the way. Trump's social media account shares a campaign video with a headline about a unified Reich. New York, AP. A video posted, by the way, AP News, super trustworthy. A video posted to Donald Trump's account on his social media network included references to a unified Reich among hypothetical news headlines if he wins the election in November. I appreciate that they didn't call the social media network what he named it, Truth Social, because that alone, the name is propaganda. The headline appears among the messages flashing across the screen, such as Trump wins and economy booms. Other headlines appear to be references to World War I. The word Reich is often largely associated with Nazi Germany's Third Reich, though the references in the video Trump shared appeared to be a reference to the formation of the modern pan-German nation, unifying smaller states into a single Reich or empire in 1871. Yeah, I think that's around the time that they declared independence from France. The Germanic states did, create a federal government. Anyway, the point is that it's from an era when there was hyper-nationalism in Germany, and they may not have been like Nazis as in like National Socialists led by Hitler, but they were Nazis in spirit. The people that were like writing headlines like that, Unified Reich, they were Nazis in spirit, if not in fact. Media Matters wrote an article about this too. Apparent meme team leader Brendan Dilley told women not to worry your pretty head about those politics, and that what you need to concern yourself with is how come the floors in the kitchen aren't as shiny as they were 2 weeks ago. Oh, I didn't know that was a quote from Brendan Dilley. Does not surprise me in the least bit, though. I should grab that clip. After former President Donald Trump posted a video mentioning a unified Reich, his campaign blamed a random account, but left out that the account is seemingly part of a pro-Trump meme team that has ties to the campaign, as it apparently led by Brendan Dilley, a podcaster who regularly spews extreme and hateful rhetoric on his online show. The connections to Trump between like Trump and Brendan Dilley go way deeper than that. It's not just that surface level. Brendan Dilley was invited to Donald Trump's presidential announcement speech. He was invited to Mar-a-Lago. He went to Mar-a-Lago. It was like, that was an invite-only thing. Donald Trump knows exactly who this guy is. And he has this entire time. And he's been courting him and people like him.
I just got invited to Mar-a-Lago for President Trump's announcement tomorrow night. So I am going down to Mar-a-Lago tomorrow. I'm leaving immediately after the show is over. I am flying in.
You don't have the voice to make that kind of sound, Gilbert Gottfried.
I'm being picked up by mad liberals at the airport, and I am heading to Mar-a-Lago for an announcement.
Seriously, he does not have the voice for this.
From President Donald J. Trump.
So he was invited to attend Trump's announcement speech for president.
And I am extremely nervous about this because, as you know, I am a basement-dwelling nerd who lives in his mother's house and doesn't normally go out into the public.
I did know that. Yes, in fact, I did know that about you. On May 20th, Trump posted on Truth Social a short video that shows hypothetical newspaper articles from after a Trump victory, including 3 mentions of a unified Reich. As the Associated Press explained, the word Reich is often largely associated with Nazi Germany's Third Reich, though the references in the video Trump shared appear to be a reference to the formation of the modern pan-German nation, unifying smaller states into a single Reich. The post was deleted after Trump's campaign press secretary, Carolyn Leavitt, said the video was created by a random account online and reposted by a staffer who clearly did not see the word. Nonsense. 1 mistake? Fine. 2 mistakes? Okay, I suppose. 3, 4, 5, 10 mistakes? This is intentional. You can't convince me it's not. The account repeatedly defended and posted the video in response to criticism, saying it didn't invoke anything except peace and prosperity for Americans. Right, totally. And the account positively responded to other users that offered praise after Trump shared the video. So anyway, the point is that, in my opinion, Brendan Dilley knew exactly what he was doing. The meme team knew exactly what they were doing. The guy that created it, the member of the meme team, Dan something, I think, knew what he was doing. And Donald Trump trusts these people, works closely with these people, reposts what they create because he knows that they have a shared ideology, a shared ideal or viewpoint or perspective on society that can propel their movement further and faster. Absolutely psychotic. Tell me what you think about it in the comments. Was this intentional? By whoever created the clip or whatever, was it intentional? Did they know what they were doing when they put in Unified Reich? I think they did. Tell me your thoughts. Philip Schwartz, I hate the Nazi propaganda. I hate that Nazi propaganda has persisted. I know. It's wild. Like, didn't we shoot this down like 100 years ago or something? How is this so pervasive? How is this still spreading all these years later? At this point in history, 100 years ago, Hitler was about to do his beer hall putsch, I think, which is like his January 6th. When did the beer hall putsch take place? 1923. November 8th and 9th, 1923. Yeah, so the beer hall putsch already happened 100 years ago.